Welcome back to Thrive Week 3. I am so happy that you're back. I hope that the first couple of weeks have been going well and that you're ready to jump into some new exercises. Today we're going to be going through 2 sets of 5 quadruped exercises, or exercises that are done on all 4 limbs, designed to help you improve proximal stability for distal mobility, or strengthening up those muscles that are closer to the body to improve movement further away from the body. Before we get into it, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel if you're not already, to help us reach more survivors around the globe. Let's get into it. First, what we're going to do, we need to get into our quadruped position. So what that means, we're getting onto all 4s. If you have a nice solid stable surface, go ahead and get into that position. Have someone with you for safety just in case. Always important, safety is first. Now the first exercise that we're going to start off with is just a gentle quadruped weight shift. So all we're doing is shifting our weight forward onto hands and then back onto knees. Now, to safely do this exercise routine, you're going to want to be able to put weight through your affected limbs safely. If you have some wrist control, but you can't get your hand flat, you can do this with your hand in a fist. But if your wrist tends to buckle, it's not a good idea to do that, because I don't want your wrist to get hurt or get injured. Now, if you have someone who is with you who can help with these exercises and keep your affected side stabilized, then that's usually okay. All right, we're moving on to the next one, which is quadruped shoulder flexion. So this is where we're lifting one of your arms up, raising it, and then bringing it back down. Now, if you're able to do that on both sides, we're going to shift weight, lift up the other arm, and then bring that back down. So go ahead, let's go back to the other one, raise it up, and then go to the other side. Now, if you are not able to shift weight and raise both arms at the same, or not at the same time, but alternate, just start with one. That's perfectly fine. And if your affected side if you can't raise it up too high, just see if you can raise it up off the surface. That's a-okay too. We make modifications to meet you where you are. Let's do one more of these. Raise it up, and then back down. Very nice. All right, so now we're moving on to knee push-ups. Now this one's pretty challenging. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna bring your unaffected ankle over your affected. You're gonna try to scoot your knees back a little bit and have your hands underneath your shoulders. What we're gonna do now is bend your elbows, and you're gonna try to support your weight as you come down. Very nice. Now you can see, I'm not going down that far. I'm trying to be cautious myself because I am in my 3rd trimester at this point. So we're just being cautious here. If you feel like you can safely sink down into a lower position, that's fine. Or if you have someone there to help you stabilize, that's a-okay too. Let's go ahead and do a few more of these. Very nice. One more. And push back up. Wonderful job. These are difficult, but you're hanging with me. Great job. Okay, let's see. Now we are going into quadruped hip extension. So you're going to uncross those ankles. And all we're going to do this time, hands are moving up just a little bit. You're going to raise one of your legs up, shift weight onto one side, raise the leg up, and bring it back down. Now, you can alternate here, where you're raising one and then the other. If that's too difficult, all I want you to do is focus on doing one at a time. Do what works best for you. Now, if you don't have this full movement available to you, what I want you to try to do is leave your knee bent, and you're gonna just try to raise that leg with your knee bent a little bit. Now you can see I'm not going all the way up to the ceiling. I'm just trying to get it up off of the mat or whatever surface I'm on. Okay, now we're at our last exercise before we take a quick break. This is the cat-cow pose. This is a typical pose that's done in yoga. We're gonna modify this just a little bit. So instead of like completely arching your back up, what I want you to do is gently Suck your tummy in, like you're trying to pull your belly button into your spine. And then I want you to relax it. So I don't want you to try to like arch your back and then like really lower it so that there's a big dip in your back. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna go quite that extreme. But what you're gonna do again is try to pull that belly up like there's a string back behind your belly button and someone's pulling it. And then you're gonna relax it. Let's try that again. So we're pulling it up. Good. And then letting it relax. Fantastic. Let's do one more. Pull it up. Very nice. And then relax. All right, I'm not gonna get all the way down here. We're gonna have about a 20-second break, and then we're gonna do all of those again. So if you need to, grab some water, take care of yourself, take a short rest break. It's a-okay. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in together through your nose. And breathe that out through your mouth. Fantastic job. We're going back into our first position, which is that quadruped weight shift. So this is where we're just down on all fours here, and all we're doing is we're shifting weight forward and then back onto our knees. Great job. Let's keep that going. Nice, slow, steady weight shifts. You have someone there with you if you feel unsteady or unstable. I love doing these quadruped exercises for a lot of different reasons, but of course, we're focused on proximal stability today. This forces us to use our core, to engage our core, to engage our hips, to engage our shoulders. All those big muscles that are really close to the trunk, to the core, right? And some of them are our core. And so it really helps us to build, strengthen, and stabilize all those proximal muscles. All right, let's go ahead and stop here. We're going back into quadruped shoulder flexion. So what we're going to do is raise up one of our arms, bring it back down, shift the weight onto that arm, raise the other, and come back down. So we're shifting, we're getting nice weight bearing all the way down through our arm, but especially in our shoulder. We can feel our scapula working. We've got all of those wonderful proximal muscles really kicking into high gear here for a lot of these exercises. Okay, let's keep it going. Again, modification. If you can't raise your arm up that far, do your best. Try to raise it up as much as you can. But if you can't reach all the way up to the ceiling, don't worry about it. This is meant to meet you where you are. All right, moving on to the next one. We're going into knee push-ups. So this is where we're crossing unaffected leg over affected. Knees come back slightly. Now you may need a pillow under your knees just for more comfort depending on where you're doing these exercises. Hands are gonna come back slightly under your shoulders, and then all you're gonna do is bend those elbows and bring them back up straight. Good job. Now this one is tough. If you have trouble with those elbows buckling, if this is too difficult for you, you can sit this one out, it's okay. You could also modify this and do a wall push-up, where you stand against a wall, hands are up on the wall, and you lean in with this same movement. Obviously you're not on your knees, you don't have your legs crossed, you're standing. But however you try to do this, just make sure that you're putting safety first and that you have someone with you if you need them. All right, next exercise, we're doing quadruped hip extension. So, uncrossing the ankles, and this time we push weight forward onto our hands and onto one of our legs. The other leg is lifting up back behind us. I'm gonna show you alternating, but you can also do this one side at a time like I mentioned last time. So if you did left leg before, do right leg this time. Of course, modification for this, if you're not able to raise that leg up far enough, gently raise it just slightly off the bench if you can. Start where you are and do what you can. Very nice. I'm gonna go ahead and bring that full movement back though. You just do your best. Let's do last one. Wonderful job. Okay, we're back into our last exercise. You made it into our cat-cow pose. So remember, this is not where we're doing really extreme movements. What we're focused on here is feeling like we've pulled a string through your belly button, and we pull it up, 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 up. Hold it there for a second, and then relax. We're really focused on core here, but we're also getting shoulder, hip strengthening as well, just by being in this quadruped position. So we're relaxing. Go ahead and bring that belly button up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Doing fantastic, relax. Bring it up again. We're gonna do a few more of these. Relax. Bring the belly button up. Good, we're holding there for a second, relax. Do one more with me. Squeeze that belly button up, hold it, and relax. Wonderful job. I'm gonna get out of this quadruped position. Woo! Give myself a little bit of a breather here. Scoot forward as we end Thrive Week 3. Wonderful job. Remember, these are exercises that you can come back to time and again to help you build that proximal stability, to help you improve proprioception or knowledge of where your body is in space, for strengthening, for movement, for all of those things. Let me and everybody else know how this went for you. What did you find challenging? Which ones could you do? Could you not do? How did you modify them to make them easier for you? And remember to comment on others' comments to keep them encouraged on their journey. As always, I'm gonna leave a link down in the description if you'd like to sign up for the email list, which gets you free stroke recovery tips, as well as a free copy of my ebook, The Stroke Recovery Pocket Guide. And if you do find value in what we do here at Post Stroke, please consider gifting us, either by giving us a super thanks by clicking in the YouTube bar below, by giving us a one-time donation via PayPal, or by becoming a Patreon member, where in exchange for a monthly donation, you get access to cool perks like social media shoutouts, behind the scenes footage, and YouTube shoutouts, of which I have a few today. Thank you all so much for continuing to contribute at the Empowerer level. We can't do what we do without you. And of course, a huge thank you to all of our other Patreon supporters. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.